Did he choose you?
No, he didn't.
What's not clicking? What's not clicking?
Okay, can someone please explain to me what the hell is a situationship? As if it's not one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. Seriously, you're telling me you're actively sitting there waiting for a man to make you his girlfriend? And some of these last for way too long. Like, I've seen a video where it's like, happy 1 year anniversary of our 1 year talking stage. 1 year? How does that even happen? Like, what happened to the 3-month rule? What are we doing, guys? Like, why are we normalizing this? Well, to figure out why this is so common, we're going to be reacting to 5 different TikTok stories I've compiled for you today. Welcome back to another one of my videos where we like to dive into some juicy storytelling. If you want to see more of this content, make sure to subscribe for more. And without further ado, let's dive into this first story. So this first story is about this girl who's been on and off with this guy for 6 years, guys. I wish I was joking.
I've been in a situationship for 6 years now. I cannot believe I just said that on camera, but I'm so over it. I'm so over it. Basically, this boy and I started dating when we were in high school, and like honestly, that was so toxic. Like, we were both stubborn as and we would just argue constantly. But anyways, he broke up with me. I was so sad, but then we remained really close friends and eventually just basically continued to date, but without the label. And then we both went to the same college, so we weren't really dating then either, but we continued this whatever that was going on, and that shit with my head because it felt so much like a relationship that when I got upset at things, like, which if you're in a relationship it was totally valid, but because we weren't, it wasn't justified. And so I kept feeling all these things that I wasn't technically allowed to feel because we weren't dating. Like, I've always been really shy with like dating and all that. Like, I don't really know how to flirt. I'm 23 and I can't flirt. And the thing is, it was on off, but because for me, I was so scared to like meet other people because I was so comfortable in this little like security blanket that is this boy. And I regret not going on dates and like in college because now I'm 23, I work at home now, so it's not like I can meet people at work. And like, I don't want to do dating apps either because it just feels so forced, and I've heard too many bad stories from friends that like, I'm not doing that. But anyway, last year of college, we finally dated, which apparently, recently I talked to him about it, and according to him, we weren't even dating back then, but we were doing like the whole flowers, Valentine's Day, all that. So like, I don't know what's wrong with him. It has come to my attention, finally. I need to move the on and stop wasting my time on this boy. We broke up the last year of college because of long distance, but now we're in the same city, in the same friend group, and it's so much harder. But this year I told myself to stop wasting my time and energy on the people who don't return the same energy back. I'm 23, still have not dated anyone else. Like, at this point, I feel like I'm just gonna die alone. All my friends are in relationships too, and it's so cute. I'm like, I want one. Where do people get one? At this point, I feel like I've lost all of my dating skills because I didn't have to use that muscle for like 6 years. For the first time in my life, I finally feel like I'm ready to move on and meet other people. I'm just terrified too. I keep saying that I'm only sticking with this boy because of comfort and familiarity, but like, he's not giving me any of that because he's stressing me out so much. I just need to rant today, and that's okay. Hot girl rant.
This poor girl was led on for like 6 years, dude. Like, girl, I'ma be real with you, he was just keeping you as an option. Bro probably had a bigger roster than girls running after Justin Bieber in his prime. No, not this one. To be fair, I am not a fan of him gaslighting her into thinking that they were not in a relationship when they were doing everything that you're supposed to do in a relationship. But I'm glad she came back to her senses, so at least that's a win for us. But as SZA once said, you gotta let that man go. This next girl was in a talking stage for 6 months and the guy still wouldn't cuff her, so she had to take matters into her own hands.
Story time of what it was like being in a talking stage for 6 months. The story is just so pathetic and embarrassing, but I'm gonna tell you guys anyways. So I met this guy through a dating app. I know, first red flag, I know, but he was so good looking, like probably one of the most like good looking men I've ever seen in my life at the time. I lived in a dorm at the time, so he would come visit me and I shared a room with my roommate. And guys, I kid you not, every time he would come through the hallways, everyone, guys and girls, would come out just to look at him. Like, that is the power that this man held. And like, when he would leave, me and the girls and the guys would all be like freaking out over him because, oh my god. And to my luck, we got along really well. He was such a kind person, so nice. I took him to my university semi-formal. Like, we would literally hang out every single day. And I was just so excited because I'm like, there is no way that I am gonna end up dating this guy. I met his mom, I met his grandparents. Everything was seemingly going so well, except the fact that he was such a shitty texter, but like, I was okay with it because we pretty much saw each other every day. But obviously, as time went on, I was like, why haven't I been cuffed yet? Also, side note, he gave me like stingy vibes too sometimes, even though he had like so much money. But like, besides the point, I'm like, why have I not been cuffed by this man? Like, we're pretty much dating without the title. I do partially blame myself for not communicating properly to him, but I did express several times that I did want to date. I just didn't want to ask him to be my boyfriend at the time because like, I'm a Middle Eastern girl. I need the man to be like the go-getter. So COVID hits, university is kind of coming to an end. I'm moving out of my dorm and I'm kind of just like, you know what, let me just hang out with him one last time, and then I'm gonna send him like a video text explaining why I don't want to like talk to him anymore, in the hopes of like, oh, maybe he'll like change his mind about dating. But I basically expressed, oh, like, I don't really want to keep talking to you unless you're gonna make things official. I'm literally like crying. Like, I couldn't do this in front of him because I knew I would cry. So after sending him this long heartfelt message about like how I felt, whatever, he goes, oh, no problem, I understand, my dad always said good things come to an end. Guys, I literally started bawling. Like, are you kidding me? Good things come to an end? That's how you're gonna end 6 months of us together? And so I'm like heartbroken. I moved to another city during COVID, and then eventually I moved back to the same city. And with time, I find out that this man is dating someone officially. I was like mortified. I started blaming it on the fact that, you know, I wasn't white, like the city I'm living in, like everyone wants to go for a white girl, whatever, putting myself down for no reason. And then I'm just starting to find out that he started dating this girl 2 months after me and him stopped talking. So the summer goes by, and then it's like Halloween, and I noticed that his girlfriend, because obviously I check up on her, I realized she's taking all the photos down.
Oh, this man most definitely did not care. If you ever have to wonder if a guy likes you, then I'm sorry to break it to you, but he probably doesn't, twin. Cause there is no reason a talking stage should be lasting this long. At that point, y'all are just friends. Like, let's just call it for what it is. I mean, y'all heard it yourself. The man had options. If he really wanted to make this girl his girlfriend, then he would. I'm just glad that she caught on to this and ended things, because if she didn't, then it would have been a downward spiral from there. Also, she did kind of end up getting her lick back because the other girl he was with broke up with him. So someone's prayers were answered. I guess that's what a man-child like himself deserves. Don't at me, Sabrina. So this girl was in a 3-year-long situationship because she thought she could fix the guy. As it turns out, she indeed did not fix him.
I was in a situationship for 3.5 years. Let that sink in. And this man actually ruined my life. But let's talk about it. Like, as women, we go through one life-changing event where one man traumatizes us, and they never really leave our brain. I thought this man was my soulmate. I thought we were gonna have babies, get married, the whole American dream. We didn't. That didn't happen. We were together for just the hanky-panky, if you get my drift. He actively told me that he was not ready for a relationship, but did I listen? Absolutely not, because I thought I was Bob the Builder over here and that I could fix it. Spoiler alert, no, I couldn't. This man had the emotional intelligence of a brick. No PDA, no commitment, no date nights, no flowers. Mr. Delusional over here somehow thought he still loves me because I'm blind. Meanwhile, he was out here texting other women, flirting with other women, going out with other women. But me, when I went out with my girls, just how I wanted to do, did what I wanted to do, World War restarted. I was 3 years deep into this relationship when one day I woke up with a sensation that controlled my whole body, and my radar went off and went, this man has cheated. So I ran my little mouth and went, sir, what have you done? And he came clean, like that. So I went, absolutely. Oh, this is where I draw the line. Goodbye. He went, I'm so sorry. I love you so much. I'll do anything. I'll change. The boy fed me every line in the fucking book. And yes, I believed it. This whole time I was playing housewife, cooking, cleaning, doing the man's laundry. For what? For who? For why? To all my girlies out there, this is your sign, because if his actions don't match his words, he doesn't love you. You don't need a man to complete you. You just need to focus on you. The right love won't have you questioning your worth. And if you feel like you are, it's time to leave. And if you're in a situationship, you can't fix him. You can't save him. And it's not your job to do that. You deserve better.
Can we give this girl a standing ovation? That girl was spitting pure facts at the end. I gotta give her flowers. But ladies, if you want an example of why you can't fix him, look no further than here. Her saying that she can fix him is like me saying that Suguru Geto, a literal cult leader and multi-murderer, isn't beyond saving. Okay, I know I'm a bit lame for making an anime reference, but you get the point. Cause either way, whether you like it or not,
it was never gonna be you.
Like, don't save him, girl. He don't want to be saved. So this next girl's story tops the chart because she was in a talking stage for 8 years straight. Yeah, I don't even know what they're on, to be honest. This is crazy.
All right, time has come. This is the moment we've all waited for. We're going to talk about the full lore behind my 8-year-long situationship. So the situationship started when I was 16 and I'm 24 now. This person was the first person that I ever felt like really magnetically like drawn to, and I hate to give him that and say that, but it's the truth. I've had 2 serious relationships in my life, and he was the last person that I spent time with before either of those relationships became official, and he was also the first person I spent time with after both of those relationships ended in breakups. I'm not proud of that information, but like, you guys have to keep in mind over 8 years we also formed a friendship. I feel like he was just always kind of like on the sidelines when my relationships ended, like waiting in the wings. And it was like weird because I would not see him for so long, and then I would go through a breakup and then boom, see him for the first time in like 6 months. The longest we've ever gone no contact was for a little over 2 years, and that was when I was dating my ex. Obviously, I had this man blocked and everything. I didn't even think about him, and honestly kind of forgotten about him a little bit until we broke up, and then all of a sudden, boom, he just appeared into my life again. We have actually traveled together, but in groups, not just the 2 of us. The reason this was always a situationship is because I actually never wanted to be his girlfriend. Like, I never had any desire to date him or be his girlfriend, but I couldn't deny that there was this just like magnetic chemistry and vibe there. We also had like a lot of fun together. Like, we match each other's interests really well. We like the same things. We have very similar like personalities in a way, which I don't know if I'm offending myself by saying that. We just both like to go out and have a good time, and we're both social beings. We did at certain points say I love you, but not in like an I'm in love with you way, but in like I love you as a person, you're one of my best friends and like one of my favorite people in my life type of way. Like the way that I like loved him is how I like love some of my best guy friends, you know, like you just love and care for the person. So it would be like, okay, love you, bye, but not in like a romantic way. Guys, I know you're hearing this out loud and I know you're confused. Trust me, I'm also confused. This situation is just, it's so messy and confusing. Also, guys, I'm not a toxic person, and like I don't do the back and forth. The only scenario in my life where I've ever experienced something like this. But every girl kind of has like one thing kind of like this, I feel like. We are currently almost a year no contact. We'll be a year no contact starting in July, and that is because of a really bad fight that happened. We were on a trip together with a group. There was a situation involving another woman, and it was just a situation where I was like, this is really disrespectful to me, not only as a person but as a friend. And I just draw the line at letting someone play in my face, and it just woke me up and made me realize I'm not 16 anymore, and like I'm not doing this bullshit anymore. I feel like having a situationship like in high school is fine and whatever, and like here and there in college, but like once I post-grad entered the real world and went through my breakup and we reconnected, like, you know, I thought maybe it could be a little different, but then the whole situation when we were on a trip together with the other girl, I was literally like, it like woke me up. I was like, I'm a fucking adult, like what am I doing? Like this is like embarrassing. So don't judge me, okay? We all do crazy things after going through a traumatizing breakup. The reason I'm still in contact with him now is I feel like I've just outgrown him. Like the whole situation with the other girl on the trip just kind of gave me like an ick, you know? And I just realized I'm not the same person that I was when we first started hanging out, and I just had really outgrown him, and it just became very apparent to me in that moment, and it stayed apparent to me now. But I think part of growth is like outgrowing people that you were once close with. And although I used to like admire him as a friend and a person in my life, I'm just like, I don't really have as much respect for him anymore as I used to. And I'm just kind of like, whatever, we're just like really different people. We like different things, and he's still doing what he was doing 8 years ago with other people. And I'm just too grown for that bullshit.
Okay, I'm a bit conflicted on this one. Like, is it just me, or does she sound like the problem half of the time? Saying I love you when it's something you don't actually mean is playing a dangerous game. You're literally giving this guy bait and then wondering why he's taking the bait. Oh, y'all thought I wasn't gonna criticize the girls in this video, but these hands are rated E for everyone. Cause why do we even entertain ideas like this? Make up your mind or move on. Like, this ain't no game of ping pong. Getting angry at him for talking to a girl when y'all are not together is crazy work. Like, girls will do stuff like this and then go out and buy Taylor Swift's new album talking about some yeah, we're never getting back together when y'all was never together in the first place. Okay, so this last story kind of ends on a good note because she actually ended up getting together with the guy she was talking to for 6 months. I don't know how I feel about this.
I ended my 6-month situationship because 2 weeks ago we finally became official. Today I'm gonna be spilling all the tea on why I let myself be in a situationship for 6 whole months. Right off the bat, there was a lot of traveling on both sides. So when you look at the actual time we were both together in New York, it really netted out to about 3 months. But what I noticed was when one or both of us were out of town, there was consistent effort from both sides to regularly text each other, sending pictures and updates on what we were doing. I would be lying if I said there weren't several times I crashed out because I was convinced he was ghosting me, but he never was. I think we both felt that when you're in a long distance situation, it's really just about maintaining what you already have. It's really hard to further a romantic relationship or make it stronger when you're not both in the same place together. Which is also why it didn't really make sense to make things official before I went home for 2 months. Maybe if I hadn't gone home for so long, the situationship would have been shorter, but I guess we'll never really know. Another reason we really wanted to take our time is because I think we were both really trying to date with intention. I've been through hell and back with boys in the last 6 years, and I was pretty clear about the fact that I didn't want to label anything that I didn't see as having real long-term potential. And when you meet someone for the first time, which we met each other for the very first time at the end of July of last year, it takes time to figure out if you and this person have long-term compatibility. I didn't want to rush into anything. We were actually a bit unconventional and talked about some pretty serious down-the-line things very early on. Also gave ourselves time to become comfortable with each other and really show each other's full personalities. We took time to meet each other's friends, assess how we handle conflict. So a lot of the types of things that would only come up after you start dating someone, we took the time to do before making things official. And lastly, this is the very first time that I'm getting to know someone from scratch by going on dates with them. Everyone I've ever dated in the past has been my friend for at least a few months, if not longer, before we started kind of developing feelings. So that whole experience of meeting someone and talking to them properly for the first time on a first date was very new to me. All that goes to say, we're obviously not starting from scratch. We both put in so much time, energy, and effort over those 6 months to build a foundation with each other, and most importantly, it never felt one-sided. Now, technically speaking, I'm 2 weeks into a relationship, but weirdly, it already feels so much stronger than anything I've ever had before. But this is your sign not to take arbitrary timelines that you see online. Everyone's situation is unique, and it can never be generalized like that. For me, every single second of those 6 months was worth it.
Okay, I have a bit of mixed feelings on this one because on one hand, what she's saying does kind of make sense, but also I don't feel like it should take you 6 months to figure out you're into someone. I know plenty of people that have been in online relationships for years, and they solidified their intentions within the first 2 months. I guess it's just kind of hard for me to believe this because I've seen long distance relationships firsthand, and those relationships will often actually be stronger than in real life relationships because of the time and effort people put into them. Like, my roommate is in a long distance relationship and she doesn't play about her man like that. But hey, what can I say? At least she got cuffed. So I guess in a way this is a happy ending. I don't know, what do you guys think? But anyways guys, that's all the stories I have for you today. If you'd like to see more content like this, make sure to like and subscribe, or check out some of the other videos on my channel. Also, let me know in the comments what other stories you'd like me to cover next time. Thank you so much for watching once again. This is your host, Kittens Collection, signing out.